I'm the CEO of Fabrikite group of companies. We are a conglomerate of music, apparel, and technology since 2013. I built my business with a lot of foresight that really came as we took steps in our everyday affairs and connecting with like-minded people and people in the industries that we wanted to be in, which is the creative sector, arts, retail, particularly apparel, and tech. Tech has been huge in propelling our growth. So, we didn't take any VC money, we didn't take any bank loans or anything like that. It was pure grit of investing and reinvesting. And tech really helped me propel my business in a very fast space. Like, it really helped us scale very quickly. That's why I have a lot of respect for tech, because it really helped us. I couldn't have achieved what I did if it wasn't for tech. Now, I want to thank the Canadian Trade Commission office in Miami for building a Canadian trade delegation to America. I think it's a great step, and I'm very proud, in fact, to be here in front of you all with the Canadian government. I think that's great for me. As a company, it feels great. Now, my presentation will be on information level and as well as some business insight. Numbers. Ultimately, I believe everything like metaverse, marketing, retail, really will come down to numbers, and it already has come down to numbers. It is all about numbers. By which I mean is basically data. So the data has become a standard fact of building and running a successful business. I'm talking about Google, like analytics and information tracking to target your ads and so forth. It's become the basic norm to use analytics and targeted marketing and so forth. So this is just a glimpse of my company. I started in Mississauga, in fact. It's a small city in Canada. But if you look at the analytics of just a couple of months of our reach, it's been very global. So we're in like every city in America, a couple of hundred times, all over the world, Europe, Middle East. And this was when I was running my company without even running any ads. And this was what interesting to me, and I realized it was also because of a lot of hashtags that we were using, multiple different hashtags. So realizing that there were people finding us from different places of the world without us running ads, and then realizing that I can see this kind of data gave me some light bulbs in my head. And I'm like, okay, cool. So data and data analytics is a thing moving into the future as I build my business. So my first investment, believe it or not, was only $400. My simple game was invest, reinvest, invest, reinvest. So $400 became $1,000, $1,000 became $10,000, $20,000, $200,000, and so forth. Now, that all happened very fast. If you say 5 years is a fast time, it is fast in my view, considering growth was like 5,000% or something. And that was all really due to our realization of the fact that we need to have an online presence, a credible online presence, have a genuine message, value proposition, and deliver on what we were promising. So that was the model, and then the data told us that our market, which is primarily we started with apparel manufacturing services for startups, our data told us that we should focus on America as our target market. Because it's just a huge market, the American market. So for the last 5 years, I have done no business with any single Canadian company, as a Canadian company. It's all been US clients. On that note, I just want to say is learn and apply the tools, such as Google Analytics or Google Ads, Facebook Pixel, and so forth. So since I started, I have built 5 companies. Agami Dev Labs is a software development company where we are creating augmented, enhanced user experience like XR for clothing. 1WVAC, One World Vogue Apparel Canada, is our clothing manufacturing division. FCGI is Fabrikite Creative Group. We have a music management company, which is validated by the Canada Council for the Arts. We work with up-and-coming artists out of Toronto. We've also had the opportunity to work with The Weeknd's crew, which is the EXO label, and so forth. We also work with a group called the 19 Group. It is Canada's first defense tech VC fund. And they actually developed masks 5 years before COVID. So I have a lot of, I have interest in innovation. Excuse me. And Streetwear Futures is our planned conference to be happening in 2041. It's a very long-term plan. Excuse me. So this is me, just glimpses of me in Toronto. That first picture is at the Graffiti Alley. I really like graffiti. That shirt you see with the 6 on it is the first shirt that my company ever built. It was in collaboration with an artist from Paris who lives in Toronto. His name is Jimmy Schall. So that was the first $400 I spent. And then this is me at a conference. This is me at the University of Toronto. At the Next Steps conference, this is me at the George Brown College. My strategy always has been to share my story and connect with community. I like to share what I've learned and what has worked for me to build my enterprise. And that's been my strategy, to build community. So I was at the Detroit Public Library and other places doing presentations, sharing my story and knowledge as well on how the audience could benefit from what has benefited me. So since then, we have built an international network. So I always wanted to build a global company. I didn't just want to stay local. I wanted to build a global company. And I showed you the map and all that just to exemplify that now it is possible to reach your audience wherever they are in the world. If you build an online identity, once again, if it's credible and if you have the right footprints around the web, and Web3 and Metaverse is like the new thing now we all have to figure out to build more presence online, which is inevitable. I think every brand moving forward cannot escape the necessity of having a Web3 presence, such as some kind of a digitization of the physical product. And I'll exemplify that as well. So anyway, so this is me in Paris, Saudi Arabia, and other places, and so forth. So that's our international network of sort. That's at the start of Fashion Week in Toronto, Future Era. We were sponsored, start of Fashion Week, Business of Fashion Conference, Toronto Men's Fashion Week. Just some places we've worked. Brooklyn, Greenpoint, Brooklyn, Google Cloud Summit, Detroit Public Library. I did a presentation, Toronto Men's Fashion Week. We were on the runway on the wearable tech segment, and again in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. These are just snapshots. This is our Prime Minister. This was a great moment for me. This is at the National Culture Summit, and I'm glad our company got invited. So this is our Prime Minister Trudeau. So it was a great moment for me. At the National Culture Summit, we kind of identified what us as Canadians need to do moving forward as a nation when it came to the creative sector. We have evolved as a company to explore defense tech and news media. So that's something that I'm interested in recently. So this is me 2 weeks ago at the 19 Group offices. And this is just to exemplify the use of augmented reality and virtual reality in defense technology for combat training and stuff like that. This is an organization which is collaboration between the founder of Shopify, co-founder of Shopify, and a former JTF Elite Special Ops Canada. Okay. Fragment 2 future. Okay, so here we go. So for me, building a company from scratch, the key thing for me, again, I told you, online presence. And that online presence came from content. I built content through random exposures, business meetings, just walking through a park in the snow, a shipment that was through a meeting, a fashion event, a music event, just random pictures, creating content which kind of told what kind of an environment and ecosystem we were trying to build. So having original content is key to building an online enterprise. So metaverse. I feel like we all don't need to figure out what the metaverse is in a sense. Like we don't need to really figure out how the metaverse works, how to build stuff in the metaverse. But what I do think is that we just need to see it as a platform, which is an extended opportunity for us to extend our presence in the world. Okay, so moving forward, I feel like business intelligence, like you know how I mentioned about analytics and stuff like that. Moving forward, I think business intelligence is not enough. You need to think Web3. Web3 is actually a lot because it brings community and other facts into the whole dynamics of consumer relationship with their clientele. Now, XR. XR is basically a new term in the marketing spheres. XR basically means enhanced user experience via physical goods using immersive experiences such as augmented reality, virtual reality, and microchips. I'll explain how microchips are being used in apparel. We started building XR, so we started building XR capacity in 2018. We realized in 2018 that that the physical product is not enough to build to sell as a commodity. Digital assets, we realized in 2018 that digital assets is a thing now. And we created an augmented reality app for all the physical garment that we were building. This is me 4 weeks ago in San Francisco at the Economist Impact event by The Economist magazine at the Metaverse Summit. So I feel like there's like Web3 and all has great potential through macroeconomic impact it can have through blockchain and so forth. Like the way people are thinking about currency and wealth generation and so forth is really shifting. And I think that's where the exciting future ahead of us lies. This is a fact that I want to share is that a lot of people are skeptical of the new economic system that some people have bought into. Like, oh, digital currency, is it going to fly? Or this and that, right? NFTs, digital art. Now, the fact of the matter is whether you and I believe in all that or not really doesn't matter because that community is moving forward with or without us. And these numbers kind of speak of that, right? I mean, these are people spending real millions of dollars on digital assets. I think that's where the data is telling us, hey, man, I mean, there's people already spending money in this space. It's a market. And it's a market which is so new that it's underserved. So, you know, a lot of you are here, probably you're entrepreneurs or you will build companies, entities, or you have a business, you're a salesperson, whichever it is. You are looking to excel in the business world. And I think data should tell you that digitization of some sort of, I have 6 minutes, right? Do I? Okay, cool. The digitization of your physical assets is important. So this is just one of the examples of our 3D work. So we are creating physical hoodies, and we're also providing the clientele the option to digitize the hoodies for one of the metaverses and so forth. Okay, so that's our company, 1WVAC. So this is actually a physical hoodie where we have created, so there's a physical hoodie you can wear, and this hoodie now has a digital version, which is this 3D version. And then this hoodie, we have an app where when you point that app to this hoodie, it will relay an augmented reality experience on the hoodie. So you're basically digitizing the consumer experience through a physical product. And that's where I think the future of retail is, which is digital experiences through physical products. Do we have sound on the video, PowerPoint? Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay, well, even if we don't have sound, let's see if we can get sound on this. If we can't, then that's also okay. This is our app demo. So you go to the app, you have the physical 3D of the hoodie, but then when the app points to the text anywhere, it will overlay that 3D on the phone. So it's kind of like a Snapchat filter, but for clothing. That has a lot of benefits of relaying information and so forth. For me, this is our CBC logo. This is our national broadcaster. Anywhere that now our app will see the logo, it will create that overlay. So you're creating this digital experience through physical, random, everyday objects for your clientele. So this connecting of the physical and digital is what I think is where the future of retail lies. And I'll give you an example of exactly that momentarily. Microchips are being used as well to track the movement of the goods and so forth. So that is something we're working with as well, which is the use of microchips on clothing. Our app is built on the Unity platform. So retail experience will further evolve. I'll kind of just speed through. RFID chips on clothing for tracking. So by microchips on clothing, let's say you want to track the life cycle of the product for sustainability. That's happening in clothing. So digitization again. Augmented reality, that was demonstrated right now, which is AR experiences through clothing. XR, everything is connected. Total NFT sale, okay, this is interesting data, but this data is more now for Nike. So the consumer has evolved. This is the main thing to realize, is that the consumer has evolved. People will be increasingly online. The metaverse market is supposed to reach a lot of money, $167 billion USD. Consumer mindset, okay, build community, that's important for your brand. You need to understand the phygital concept, like a physical and digital idea of a physical product, digital product combined with phygital. NFTs, augmented reality, virtual reality, big data, gaming. Gamification is a thing now in the buying cycle. We will be our buying experience will be increasingly gamified. So gamers, like game developers, actually have a new portfolio now in the marketing space, which is very interesting. Decentralized alternative coins are a thing. So Nike's project, so this is a factual number again. So Nike's digital asset sales has reached, as of November, $650 million. They just started this project, and they made $650 million on it. What they did is they launched a hoodie. To buy that hoodie, you had to be part of a community, which you can only be a part of by owning one of the digital assets, which is an NFT. You paid a couple of Ethereums to buy that NFT, then you mint your own hoodie, and then you get your physical hoodie. Now, the interesting thing to realize here, just to exemplify my point, the consumer has evolved, that the person bought the digital asset first, and then the hoodie came in secondary as a gamification experience, as a physical product. This is where things get exciting, because the consumer has truly evolved, and Nike's exemplification of the Artifact project in collaboration with Artifact, their own Artifact now, their Dot Swoosh project is the ultimate exemplification of Web3 marketing. Blockchain, immersive experiences, which is XR, and a physical product, and community building in a perfect way combined to create a commercially viable product. And the numbers speak for itself. And our company is basically poised to deliver the same solutions that has benefited Nike. The only fact is that we did this, we saw this coming. Well, I'm sure Nike saw it at the same time that we did, but we built capacity well before Nike, which is in 2018. But they, of course, have millions of dollars of budget, so they did it perfectly, and that's why I'm using Nike's Artifact project as an example of what a perfect modern Web3 branding and marketing and product creation looks like. So, all right. Thank you very much for being here and listening to me. I appreciate you all. My name is Golam Ahmed Khan. I have some business cards. I'm very pleased that you all stuck around and listened to me. I'm very passionate about what I've built because I built it all from scratch, and I continue to build as I move forward. I'm all about community building, connecting dots in the world and making my world smaller. And I'm proud that I have been able to do that in the last 5 years, and I'm excited about where I will be in the next 20 years or 10 years. So thank you, and have a good day.